In section 10.4, let's take a look at defining a cosecant. So cosecant can be abbreviated into CSC. So cosecant theta is equal to 1 divided by sine theta. So we've looked at tangent, which is sine over cosine, cotangent, cosine over sine, secant, 1 over cosine, and then cosecant is 1 over sine. So this is the final identity that we're going to take a look at when looking at the unit circle in degrees. So we can start by going through our 3 reference angles, 45, 30, and 60. So for 45 degrees, put down our 45 finger, we have square root 2 over 2, comma, root 2 over 2. Goes cosine, comma, sine. So we're only taking a look at the second one. So for cosecant of 45 degrees, let's take a look. 1 over square root 2 over 2. So we're going to keep the top, flip the bottom. And we have to rationalize the denominator. So I'm going to multiply the top by square root 2 and the bottom by square root 2. So we have root 2 times root 2, which is 2 square root 2 over root 2 times root 2 is 2. We need to simplify, so we can cancel out the 2's, and we're left with square root 2. Cosecant of 30 degrees. So let's look at our left hand, put down our 30-degree reference finger. So we have square root 3 over 2, comma, 1 over 2. Goes cosine, comma, sine. So we're taking a look at the second one, 1/2. So we're going to do 1 divided by 1/2. We're going to change the division of fractions into multiplication by keeping the top, flip the bottom, and now we can just reduce. 2 over 1 is just 2. And then we have cosecant of 60 degrees. So we're going to take a look at our left hand, put down our 60-degree fingers. So we have 1/2, comma, square root 3 over 2. Goes cosine, comma, sine. Cosecant takes a look at the second one. So we have 1 divided by square root 3 over 2. So we're going to keep the top, flip the bottom. We need to rationalize the denominator because we can't leave a root 3 in the denominator. So I'm going to multiply the top by root 3 and the bottom by root 3. And we have 2 times root 3 is just 2 square root 3 over root 3 times root 3 is 3. So my final answer for cosecant of 60 degrees is 2 square root 3 over 3. Let's take a look at the axes now. So again, it's 1 over sine. So for cosecant of 0 degrees, it's right here. So we have 1, comma, 0. Cosine, comma, sine. So again, we're looking at the second one. So we have 1 divided by 0. So it's undefined. Let's take a look at another one on the axes. So let's go down here to cosecant of 90 degrees. Cosecant 90 is up top. So we have 0, comma, 1. Cosine, comma, sine. Cosecant is 1 over sine. So we're going to do 1 over 1, which equals 1. Another one on the axes is 180 degrees. So we have negative 1, comma, 0. Cosecant, cosine, comma, sine, it's the second one, so we're going to take 1 over 0, and we get undefined. Let's take a look at the last one that we have on this page on the axes, which is 270 degrees. So we have 0, comma, negative 1. Cosine, comma, sine, cosecant is 1 over sine, so we have 1 divided by negative 1, which equals negative 1. Going back up to the top. So again, cosecant, all of this page, 1 over sine. So let's take a look at everything with 45 degrees as our reference angle. Anything that ends in a 5 goes with 45. Let's take a look. Number 10 has to go with 45 because we have 315. 315 ends in a 5. This is 315. It's in the 4th quadrant. So we have positive root 2 over 2, comma, negative square root 2 over 2. 1 over sine, so we take 1 divided by negative square root 2 over 2. And we already did the math above right here, and we got root 2. This is a positive divided by a negative, so therefore it's going to be negative square root 2. Another one that ends in a 5, we have number 13, 225. 225 ends in a 5, and this is in the third quadrant, so it's both negative. Negative root 2 over 2 comma negative root 2 over 2. Again, cosecant is 1 over sine, so we have 1 over negative square root 2 over 2. So we get negative root 2. Next one, number 14. Number 14 ends in a 5. It's 135. So we have, this is in the second quadrant, so we have negative root 2 over 2 comma positive square root 2 over 2. You can look at sine, so we have 1 divided by positive square root 2 over 2, so that's going to be a positive answer. Positive root 2. So I already did the math on the first one, 2 and 3, so we can go through all of these now, and instead of doing the math each time, I know that my answers are either going to be 2 or 2 root 3 over 3, because we've already got all of the 45-degree reference angles done. So let's go 120. 120 is a little bit past the 90. 90 is close to the y-axis, so therefore this goes with 60. Of course, I did the wrong color. This goes with 60. There we go. So we have 120. So we have negative 1/2 comma positive square root 3 over 2. We have 1 over sine, so we have 1 divided by square root 3 over 2. So you can keep the top, flip the bottom, multiply by root 3, and we get a positive 2 square root 3 over 3. Next one, 210. 210 is really close to the x-axis, so therefore it goes with 30. So put in our 30-degree reference finger. 210 is in the third quadrant. Again, 1 over sine, so we have 1 divided by negative 1/2. Keep the top, flip the bottom, reduce, we get negative 2. And they just keep going after that. So once you have these first 3 as a reference angle, you can get the rest of them, just going based off of root 2, 2, and 2 root 3 over 3 being the answers, or undefined, or 1. So everything for cosecant, you're going to have an answer of root 2 to 2 root 3 over 3, undefined, or 1, or negative 1, every single time. Positives and negatives change depending on the quadrant. There's some practice in the content library if you'd like. I'm going to finish up these notes here and post them for you to look later.